next?
Man, we got the Ellie House games of the week, bro. We got 2 of them. Normally, week 1 we like to do 3. Couldn't really find a Saturday game, but I don't even think it mattered this year. With the game we got on Thursday night and Friday night, I think not having a Saturday game is all right. So let's talk about the first game, brother. Thursday night, Cleveland Brown Stadium, Avon versus St. Ignatius. We just talked about Derek White, so in Avon, led by head coach Mike Elder. Coach Elder going into his 20th year. He did a great job in 20 years building this program up, back-to-back state championships in Division II. We just talked about it. He does a great job developing his kids. His coaching staff does a great job being able to see that program up close and personal. Last year versus Walsh Jesuit in the state semifinals was something neat to see for me, being that I am a coach naturally at heart, just seeing how the coaching staff works with the kids on the sideline, seeing how Coach Elder empowers his coaching staff and his players to go out and play freely, play together, and make plays. They really, really have one of the best programs in the state of Ohio right now, and that's credit to Coach Elder, his coaching staff, his kids, parents, administrators, everybody involved. So I'm excited to see them play. But they do get a lot of senior leaders returning. You know what I mean? They did lose a lot the last 2 years. I'm sure they're tired of hearing about everybody saying who's going to be up next. But when you look at their roster, they got senior wide receiver Finn Jordanic back. Michael Colburn is back. Jake Fitch is back. Caden Krugman is back. And DB Jarrell Fenton is back. So they have a good core of kids back that's been a part of those 2 state championship teams. I feel like they'll also be some of the best players, but also be great leaders for some of these young guys that don't get a chance to play this year in year 1. Junior quarterback Trevor Sikora look like he going to take over as QB1. The last 2 years, we seen him have Nolan Good, who's at Kent State. We seen him have Blake Elder last year, who led him to a state championship also. So the quarterback play at Avon is a high standard, but I'm sure if you quarterback 1 at Avon, you meet that standard and you're probably ready to rock and roll. So my coach's eye for Avon, bro, is how quickly would the underclassmen, the first-year starters, adapt to varsity football, but also adapt to varsity football the way Avon plays? You know what I mean? So that's what I'm looking at as far as Avon. It's a big-time program, big-time matchup, week 1, Cleveland Brown Stadium. So I know them guys excited. Shout out to Coach Elder and the squad. Then on the flip side, St. Ignatius. We talk about it every year. That's another question a lot of people ask me this offseason. What's going on with Ignatius? When are they going to be back? I think they're going to be back soon. You can ask I never count them out. I got a lot of history playing against St. Ignatius. I know the tradition and the culture they have there. So that program will never be down for too long. I don't care what nobody say. At some point, they're going to get back to their winning ways and the winning tradition that they have. They got a first-year head coach with head coach Tom Kaufman. He was at Marietta College last year. Before that, he was at Gilmore Academy. He did a good job there raising that program, so they got a good coach in place. They got a starting quarterback. That's the biggest question right now is they got a quarterback competition going on right now. Senior Dane Donovan and junior Jacob Mikan. It'll be one of them. Regardless of who it'll be, when you look at their receiver group, they may have the best receiver group in Northeast Ohio or one of the best receiver groups in Northeast Ohio. When you look at senior Trey Hadid, Texas A&M commit. They got a junior, Billy Cole, who's a speedster. He can make plays in the slot, can make plays with the ball in his hand, jet sweeps, reverses. He's really good in return game, kickoff return, punt return. So he's a junior and he's a speedster. And then they got 6'6" Jake Lamoran, who's a 6'6" receiver that could play on the boundary, 50-50 balls, which with him probably won't be 50-50 balls, red zone threat. And if you put a small DB on him, good luck being that he's 6'6". Also, when you look at the tight end that they have over there and Charlie Blasco. So you got 3 good receivers. You got a really good tight end. To me, whoever at quarterback going to have some weapons to work with in the pass game and get them guys the ball. Up front, they'll be led by Northwestern commit Andrew Davala, who's a really good football player. I know he's going to do a good job setting the standard and leading up front for that offensive line. And ain't too many times you'll find Ignatius without a good offensive line. So I feel like whoever wins the quarterback job at St. Ignatius will be fine. They'll have enough skill around them, and they'll be able to make plays, you know what I mean, and get those guys the ball to make their job easier. And then defensively, they'll be led by the dynamic duo at linebacker, senior Dylan Baker and senior Buffalo commit James Conrad. We talked about James last year on the stock report. So I like where Ignatius is at as far as the talent they have on the roster. I know they got good energy coming in with the head coach, Tom Kaufman, in his first year. And more importantly, I know the kids is ready to get back to winning tradition in St. Ignatius land. So they have a really good team, bro. Week 1 against Avon, it should be a big game. As far as Ignatius, what I'm looking for is this the year you get back to the winning tradition and the winning ways? I think it can be, and I think they can get in the playoffs and make a run. The one thing that always hurts them is they play – I don't think you'll find 5 other programs that play a harder schedule than St. Ignatius year in, year out. You know what I mean? So sometimes you're trying to build that program back up and get back to where you accustomed to being. It's tough when you're playing against some of the best programs in the state of Ohio. But like I said, the history I have with St. Ignatius playing against those guys, I know they don't want it any other way. They don't want that schedule to get watered down. Keep that schedule where it's at. Let us keep grinding. Let us keep working. And eventually we'll get back to our winning ways. So that's our game 1, bro, on Thursday night. What you think about that?
Man, tell the two stories. One program trying to get back, and the other program trying to keep it going. You know what I'm saying? Avon done won 2 straight, and I believe Ignatius probably done won 10 games over the last 3 years, maybe total. Yep. So, you know, it's or 3 or 4 years. So it's just a tell the two stories, tell the 2 different speeches going out to the guys as this season begins, because like we talked about, even the last season and the season before, you know what I'm saying, we was pulling every week. It seemed like we was like, oh, this might be the week for Ignatius. This might be the week for Ignatius. And like you said, the strength of schedule. And also, you know, sometimes it's time for a new voice. It's time for a new shot of energy. We seeing what Camp McKinley with Coach Purnell brought in that new energy, and you know we got to be around that program when we instantly seen the response to the new energy and the new direction that they want to go. So, and of course, like you said, Avon led by Coach Mike Elder, Warren native.
Shout out to Coach Elder, Warren guy. Shout out to the guy.
You know what I'm saying? How he prepared his guys and how they develop, and we was talking about it earlier this week, you know what I'm saying, the pride that they take in developing. Yes. And how the kids, you know what I'm saying, like he was speaking, I seen a reel on social media where he was talking about how his guys take pride in JV football and how they use the JV football as an opportunity for them to develop. So Cleveland Brown Stadium.
We'll be there, baby.
I think it's a great opportunity for Ignatius to, you know what I'm saying, get in the slug fest with the champs. And then, you know what I'm saying, to see if the champs are still where they at.
And like you said, you look at both sides. No matter if it's Avon coming out week 1 winning after losing a lot of players, after winning back-to-back state championships, that's a great week 1 win. Or if you Ignatius, who's been struggling the last couple of years, if you can come in and knock off Avon, who's won the last 2 Division II state championships, that's a big win for you. So I feel like whatever team wins this week, of course it'll be a good boost. But I feel like whatever team loses also, as long as it's a good game, you played the right way, your kids show what you wanted to see, it's also, even if you lose, it could be a springboard into having a good year. When you play at Avon or St. Ignatius week 1, that let me know as a program you were trying to get your kids battle tested, and you have plans on being in the playoffs and having your guys ready to rock. So can't wait, baby.
And indeed, and to add on what you said, the third team involved in that matchup is us. Our face will be at the place.
You know it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
so
sir.
We'll definitely be there. Brown Stadium, Thursday night. Ellie House game of the week. What's our Friday night game of the week? Oh, yeah.
Friday night.
Talk to me, man.
I think this is the number 1 game in the country. That's me. I'm from Ohio. I'm biased. Seeing this game last year, up close and personal, overtime game, one of the best games I've been at since we've been doing this show. And that's Glenville at Massillon, Friday night, Paul Brown Tiger Stadium. I'm going to talk about the game. It really ain't too much to sell about this game. You know what I mean? But I'm going to talk about it. Of course, on the Glenville side, they led by Coach Ted Ginn going into year number 30, a future Hall of Fame coach, one of the best coaches in the state of Ohio, has done a magnificent job, you know, with that program. I was in high school when that program first started getting the traction and rolling, and it's 2026 now, and he still got the program at the top of the food chain in the state of Ohio. They got senior quarterback back, LaMarcus Greenwood, the second back. So he back to take over the reins after Arvell Nelson graduated. LaMarcus is one of the best dual threat quarterbacks we got in the state of Ohio. He really throws a really good deep ball. He's dynamic with his feet. They got James Madison commit, Devon McDougal back, big back, also plays linebacker. He's a big back. He can grind the game out, but he got enough speed on him. He can hit his head on the goalpost too if you give him a crease. We just talked about Emiere Lemons. We talked about Duke Crittenden. So the wide receiver group is set. Defensively, they led by Colorado commit Kaylon Bailey. He's taking over that Sincere Johnson and that Arvell Reese spot. So he's the next linebacker to kind of take over, being able to play linebacker and rush the passer over there for Glenville. And honestly, bro, this is my opinion. I think this is the best secondary in the state of Ohio. This is my opinion. I think they have the best secondary in the state of Ohio. When you look at juniors, Jaylen Edwards and Jayquan Gibson, juniors already have big Power 4 offers, already played a lot of football. Then you add on top of that Cardell Scott, Kyer Robinson, Devron Mills, Devontae Miller, and DeJuan Whitner. That secondary not only has depth, but it has talent, it has size, it has speed, it has strikers, it has ball hawks. It has everything you want and need in the secondary. You know what I mean? So I feel like they have the best secondary in the state of Ohio. So I'm excited to see them guys play. My coach's eye for Glenville is I'm looking at the O-line, D-line on both sides of the ball. You know what I mean? I'm looking at the O-line, D-line. I just talked about the quarterbacks, the running backs, receivers. I just talked about the linebackers in the secondary. The question mark for me is the O-line, D-line. If they can get solid to pretty good play on the O-line and D-line, watch out. With all that talent they got being led by Coach Ginn, that tradition, their swag, their confidence, their belief in they have in each other, it's going to be another gone run in the playoffs and maybe another state championship run. So, excuse me. That's what I'm looking at with Glenville, super talented. Now let's talk about Massillon. Led by head coach Nate Moore, his 12th year. Last year they went 9-4 in Massillon land. We always know they want to have a better year than that. I think this might be Coach Moore's most talented team he's had in his 12 years at Massillon. I mean, they loaded. You know, in my estimation, they got over 10 Division I prospects. Over 10. That's hard to do on one football team. You count sophomores, juniors, seniors, and there's probably some sophomores that's going to be future Division I players who may not play a huge role in this game, but they'll play a huge role in their development, helping out over the season, over the next couple of years at Massillon. So I think this might be Coach Moore's most talented year. It's not set in stone, but it's looking like junior quarterback Rasmus Haynes may take over at quarterback. Big kid, look like he about 6'3", 6'4", has a big arm. But then when you look at the skill group around him, you got Xavier Owens, running back, committed to Michigan State. You got Brayton Fiester, running back, linebacker, committed to Oregon. You got Deonte Malone, receiver, cornerback, committed to Ohio State. Geo Jackson Jr., committed to Miami of Ohio. That's the skill group on offense. You know what I mean? So he has one of the best skill groups in the state of Ohio. Also, you throw in there, they got 3 really good tight ends. Josh Hose, Joe Pierce, and Deshaun Williams. I mean, they check every box skill-wise as far as having everything you need, especially with those big backs and tight ends. They could beat you any type of way. They could run the ball down your throat. They could spread you out, spread across the yard. When you get in the red zone, good luck trying to guard Geo Jackson. We could throw it quicker down the field to Deonte Malone. Like, they got everything they need. Deshaun Williams is a tight end, but you can also play him in slot. So they're talented. I can go on and on and on. And then defensively, they'll be led by linebackers. Isaac Maxheimer, back. Brayton Fiester, Oregon commit. We talked about him. His little brother, Squeak Fiester, who's one of the best linebackers. Probably could play some edge. Probably will play some edge, too. So now you got to worry about finding where he at every play. So that's a lot. And then you look at the secondary. I feel like the only secondary that could challenge Glenville as far as being one of the best in the state is Massillon. You look at what they got. Deonte Malone going to play corner at Ohio State. A lot of people don't know about Chance White. Long corner, long arms over there, track kid. Also got some Division I looks. The kid on their defense that I feel like never gets the attention, so I'm going to make sure I speak on him, is their nickel, Christian Caller. When you watch that kid play, man, that kid is a true football player. He can set the edge in the run. He can fill inside the edge and tackle. He can cover. He can drop in zone. He has ball skills. He's smart. He has good IQ. That kid is a football player. He ain't the biggest kid, but that kid is a football player, and he's starting at nickel. And then you also got Boston College commitment Braylon Gamble, who's legit 6'2", 190. He'll knock your head off. He has good ball skills. He can fill the alley either way. So that's their secondary. You know what I mean? So I feel like week 1, Friday night, I feel like we're going to be watching the 2 best secondaries in the state of Ohio. That's what I think. That's my belief. That's my opinion. If you don't like it, oh well. But that's what I think. But my coach's eye for Massillon is I'm looking at the offensive line. You know what I mean? Kevin Elliott. My boy, Mr. Floyd over there, Davion Floyd, Marcus Garner, and we talked about Micah Walker earlier in the show on the Stella Stock Report. That's 4 good, really offensive linemen. If they dominate the line of scrimmage the way they can with those 2 big backs, those tight ends, and those receivers, I mean, good luck. Good luck. You know what I mean? Good luck, because we already know what Xavier Owens can do. He's a 20, 25 a carry type of back who gets better as the game goes. We know what Brayton Fiester can do. So, I mean, that 1-2 punch at tailback is scary. You got 3 good tight ends. You could go 12 personnel. You can go 13 personnel. So I feel like if the offensive line dominates the way they should, with that skill and that defense, with that culture, those coaches and that tradition, watch out, brother. Watch out.
Man, like you said, this game you don't need to sell this game at all.
No doubt.
What we talking about here basically is Master State University versus the Glenville Buckeyes, right? You know, it was so many names and so much talent on these 2 rosters combined. I'm sure you need to drink some water after going through that list.
No doubt.
I think you summed it up best last year after we watched that game when you said that if every state had to submit a tape for their state about to kind of represent high school football for that state, that would be the tape. That would be the game tape that we were seeing from the state of Ohio.
Bro, no doubt.
And I think like I said, I think that's kind of sums it up right there. If you talk about the atmosphere, if you talking about the coaching, if you talk about the talent, if you talking about the Massillon city versus the Glenville community, right? Glenville coming right back in Paul Brown Stadium. They got away with the win last year. I ain't gonna say got away with the win. They won last year in a classic, an instant classic game. And I just want to bring up the one thing that Coach Ginn said, because I kind of stole it and I adopted it. We was in that end zone when Massillon had a chance to win it with that field goal. And Coach Stella said he downed the ball too early. He let Glenville was able to call that timeout, set up the kick block. The rest is history. But I say all that to say that game don't need to be sold. And if you got an opportunity to be in the place, I'm telling you, it's going to be electric. But back to what I was saying, Coach Ginn said he said they had to believe first and figure it out later. And man, that was just like amazing the way he kind of summed up how that game happened. No doubt. How they end up winning it. They ended up 2 block kicks late in the game.
So blocked 2 field goals.
Blocked 2 field goals. And man, I'm just so excited to be able to be there again to see this the sequel to this matchup.
Bro, I'm so excited. It's week 1, high school football back. Thursday night, Cleveland Brown Stadium. Avon, back-to-back D2 state championships. St. Ignatius, one of the most tradition-rich programs in the state of Ohio. You go back Friday night. Glenville, one of the best programs in the state of Ohio. Massillon, one of the best programs in the state of Ohio. We can't ask for more in week 1. Like we're going to watch 4 of the best programs in the state of Ohio to represent our state. And like you said about Glenville Massillon last year, if every state would have had to submit a game or a tape to represent why they feel like they have the best football in the country, last year it would have definitely been Glenville at Massillon week 1. And honestly, I'm expecting the same, if not a better game this year. So Let's go, baby. I'm so excited, man. Let's do it.
And that's our Ellie House games of the week.
Yes, sir.
Our face will be in the place Thursday, Cleveland Brown Stadium. And then Friday night, we in Paul Brown Stadium for history, man. Between the Lines of Coach Stella Season 4, we be right back like we left some.
Mario Manningham, stay locked in between the lines and Coach Stella.
Yes.